What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Marisha LaShay, and welcome to another episode of The Breakfast Show, Marisha LaShay. I'm so glad to be here before you guys on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Meanwhile, I want to go ahead and just give honor to God who's the head of my life. Second thing, I want to just go ahead and give a big shout out to those who have been following me for quite some time. Thank you guys just for making it possible, along with God, of me reaching my goal of 26 countries and 1600 active listeners. I thank you guys because I know that none of this is possible without God, putting God first and having supporters out there like you all. Another shout out has to go to my dad because I know that he has played a major role in the breakfast show with the birth of it, being my soundboard, just being able to just provide some light and ask some questions. So today, you guys, is day 29 of the Breakfast Show, Marisha LaShay. This show will be in effect for one more day. One more day doesn't mean that I will never return, but one more day for this particular season. You know, it's been definitely a great run. Well, well enlightening still and very productive. You know, I definitely feel like it's been an amazing one. People just been showing up. I've been showing up. Things been going on, and I'm just truly, truly thankful. Um, I just definitely just man, just thanking God for all that He's just doing in my life. Second, I want to go ahead and do my mental check in, which is rated on a scale from 1 to 10. One being the worst day of my life, and 10 being the best day of my life. For me, I am a strong 8 today. Reason being is because I woke up this morning with my mind set on having a productive day. As I'm getting ready to just kind of take some me time for these next few days that's forthcoming before me, I rarely take off for work. You know, if anything, I'm there when the door opened or when the day closed. But this week, I'm going to be taking some time off Thursday, Friday, and Monday, kind of celebrate my birthday, which is next Wednesday or whatever. But I'm just going to just kind of do that just for me because that is what I need for me to reset and to know to be able to make it to that finish line. So, yes. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the question for today. Have you ever been so obsessed with an idea that it ruins relationships? Before I begin to unpack this question, please feel free to share those, how you feeling, those numbers on any platform that you are currently on. Please feel free to do that. All right, jumping back into the question. You know, when I thought about this question, I thought about that it was very deep, but it's a very honest one, right? So when we talk about obsession, we want to talk about how obsession is tied to something that you love passionately. You can absolutely strain or even ruin relationships when your focus narrows so much that everything feels secondary. It can leave people around you feeling neglected, misunderstood, or even replaced by the idea itself. Common for a creative experience this. I'm sorry, it's not uncommon. The line between dedication and obsession can be a blur. It's what starts off as inspiration, which then morphs into isolation. But awareness is the first step towards finding balance. So here are top 10 top obsessions that can ruin relationships. Career ambition or workaholism. Prioritizing career success over emotional presence and time with the partner can create resentment and emotional distance. Second is perfectionism. Always needing things or people to be perfect can lead to the constant criticism and control issues in relationships. Three, social media or online validation. Obsessing over likes, followers, or online image can make a partner feel secondary or invisible. Four, ex partners or past relationships. Constantly bringing up or comparing a current partner to an ex can create insecurity, jealousy, and emotional disconnect. Five, physical appearance or fitness. Being overly focused on looks, dieting, or gym routines can come off as self absorbed or neglectful of emotional intimacy. Six, money and materialism. An Obsession with wealth, status, or possessions can lead to shallow connections and mismatched priorities. 7, control or jealousy. Wanting to control your partner's actions, friends, choices can become toxic and emotionally abusive. 8, addictions such as substance, gambling, etc. Addiction is one of the most common and destructive obsessions that could erode trust, stability, and love. 9, hobbies or passions when taken to extremes. Even healthy interests like gaming, sports, or side hustle can dominate time and attention to the point of neglect. And 10, spirituality or ideology. Being consumed by a belief system to the point of intolerance or judgment can alienate those who don't share the same intensity. So I'm like, wow, when I thought about all these different obsessions. And then I started to think about another question in relation to obsession. Does it occur based on past trauma or past events throughout a person's life? And to answer that, yes. Obsession is often rooted in past trauma or significant life events. Okay. It could be the mind's way of trying to regain control, safety, or meaning after experiencing something painful, unstable, or unresolved. Here's how trauma or past events can lead to obsession. Here are a few points. 1, unresolved childhood wounds. People can lack affection, stability, or validation growing up, may be obsessed with achieving those things later through success, relationships, or perfection. 2, abandonment or betrayal. After being hurt, someone might obsess over preventing it from happening again, constant checking, controlling behavior, and hypervigilance. 3, loss or grief. A deep loss can cause someone to fixate on preserving what they have left or replicating what they lost, even if it becomes unhealthy. 4, neglect or invisibility. If a person grew up feeling unseen or heard, they might obsess over being recognized or validated in adulthood, often through work, appearance, or social media. 5, shame or guilt. Internalized shame can fuel obsessive overachievement or people pleasing as a way to feel worthy or redeem oneself. 6, trauma bonding. Sometimes obsession with a toxic person stems from traumatic emotional cycles, reward, and punishment that mimic early relationship dynamics. However, another point is feeling powerless or unsafe. After trauma, obsessing or over controlling outcomes, people, or environments can become a coping mechanism for feeling helpless in the past. So, overall, obsession can be a survival strategy that becomes maladaptive over time. Okay. And I'm just like, I didn't even know before I started doing this episode. Again, this is just a random question that came to my mind. And I just kind of wanted to find out more about it. As I've been unpacking and just kind of reflecting over my life, what I noticed like in my parents, what I noticed in me, what I noticed in my son. I'm very fascinated in their thinking. What did they feel in that moment? And this right here, which allowed me to just kind of oversee the following. That obsession does come from past trauma, that it does come from significant life events. And I'm just like, wow, because I've had to catch myself and I've had to look at myself as well. Why do I keep watching like some of the same shows? Why do I keep isolate myself from everybody? I think about it as a coping mechanism, not to have to deal with other people, not to have to be triggered, not to have to come out of character. Is it my lack of discipline? No. I just need to be by myself because I know how to deal with me. And who's to say that I want to just kind of give out my energy to that? So I just try to stay away. I try to get people out of my face. I try to protect my space. I try to meet them at the door because I really don't want them entering. And I might be doing too much, but this is the reality, right? I don't need that in here, that energy, none of it. Like I'm stopping kids at the door. I'm stopping them in their tracks when they acting a fool, when they doing what they doing. They need to stop. So, you guys, with that being said, I hope that you learned something today. I hope that you take this as an opportunity to just kind of reflect on it in your time by yourself and just see if there's some truth to what I'm saying. So, with that being said, I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of your beautiful Tuesday morning and day. I will see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. Love y'all. Peace.